Alright, hey, so Chris again, bringing you another reaction. This time to Dorkly-5 disastrous attempts at video game marketing. I love Dorkly. They're always putting out funny stuff. So I thought I'd give this one a try. Let's see how bad video games are marketed, shall we? 3, 2, 1, react.
Hey, it's me, Tony, because, literally who else would it be? It's Today in Nerd History.
My little one running around.
Marketing games is a tough business. We live in a world where there have been 12 Halo releases, and Assassin's Creed puts out a new, or should I say, new title every year. I mean, it's hard to get your games noticed, and the harder that game companies try, well, the easier it is for them to screw up. Here are 5 disastrous attempts at video game marketing. Number 5. Ubisoft terrified people with gun and bomb scares. Bringing the reality of your game into real life seems like a great way to get people excited about your property, unless, of course, your property is a violent R-rated affair that draws heavily upon a post-9/11 culture of terror. When promoting the cyber-vigilante sandbox game Watch_Dogs, Ubisoft thought it would be a good idea to send an electronic safe to the Australian offices of MSN. After somebody tried punching in a code, the safe started beeping like crazy, and the bomb squad was called in. They pried open the safe to reveal some swag and a copy of the game. So I guess it did have a bomb in it. Oh!
But,
The game wasn't great. You'd think that Ubi would have learned their lesson after they tried to promote Splinter Cell Conviction in New Zealand by having a mercenary barge into a crowded bar and wave around a very real-looking gun. The police arrived on the scene and the incident was sorted out without casualties and only a slightly higher than normal amount of urine on the floor. This is effectively the only time that a developer has swatted their players. Number 4. A Guitar Hero ripoff threw a bunch of plastic instruments into a volcano. In 2010, the plastic guitar rhythm game genre was fading fast, and even a game with a name as awesome as wasn't great enough to get people back on. PowerGig decided to show you how to get rid of your Guitar Hero controllers in a way that was a little more festive than just dumping them off the dusty Goodwill garbage bin, by tossing them into a live Icelandic volcano. And as absolutely metal as this sounds, this flashy ad wasn't exactly on the level. About a year after PowerGig was released into instantaneous obscurity, a special effects guy posted a video chronicling his work on the volcano commercial. While the volcano had erupted earlier that same year, it was calm by the time that PowerGig got there. And it hasn't erupted since then. As of now, all those plastic guitars are just strewn about the mountainside. So all PowerGig did was litter all over a beautiful natural formation and, put out a crappy music game that nobody played. And which is worse? You have to look in here. The game's worse. Not safe for word warning. Time to talk about boobs. Number 3. Sex sells, except when it doesn't. When Dead Island Riptide was coming out, developer Deep Silver would not settle for just making a mediocre product. No, they had to be embarrassing and kind of all-out reprehensible as well. And lo, there was the Riptide Zombie Bait Special Edition, a bloody tit stump that was downright ugly, both physically and in the way that it reaffirms the advertising trend that says video games are for horny straight boys only, if all boys were just shallow penis monsters who consumed merchandise at the behest of their boys. And this is a storied tradition. From Sega's implication of sex with Miss Airbrush USA to this corpse that Hitman really wants to go. And no one's saying that you can't have a sexy ad, because, human beings will always have those base desires. But reducing your audience to bobbing, drooling heads is not only insulting, it also reinforces the basement-dwelling gamer stereotype. Sony didn't fare much better, utilizing nightmare bag boobs and a woman taking a shit in order to sell their consoles. Luckily, Nintendo knows to do what they do best and play family-friendly, which is why all their ads are about ferrets. Number 2, everything involving the PlayStation Portable. The PSP had every reason to succeed. It had great hardware, it had a sleek package, it had the possibility of great third-party titles, and yet it was trounced by the 3DS every step of the way. It probably didn't help that the PSP had the single worst series of ad campaigns in video game history. Like these commercials featuring squirrels and dust balls that are not only stupid and tone-deaf, but also vaguely racist. Oh man, this is like totally Chick Magnet stuff! And I guess vaguely racist just didn't cut it for Sony because they had to go forward with this, oh god, what were you thinking billboard ad. Clearly out of ideas, Sony ran some ads at train of bus stops which indicated their audience might like to kill themselves. Sony has jokingly advocating suicide in a place where people are actually likely to commit suicide. This sparked an immediate outrage, and some transit workers even started plastering over the signs themselves. And like that, the PSP was pretty much history. Number 1, EA kept sending weird things in the mail until they broke the law. Okay, while EA probably doesn't deserve to have won the worst company in America award 2 years in a row over companies that actually use child labor or treat their employees like human garbage, but yeah, I mean, EA's pretty trashy about how they advertise their games. Like about 5 years ago, when EA got in the weird habit of shipping strange objects to games journalists. Is it kind of gross that EA would send questionable ground beef with shell casings and dog tags embedded inside? Well, yeah, as a result, sites like Kotaku will post it, and it will get curiosity clicks, and it will have been totally worth it to get the word out for a game like Bulletstorm. To promote the release of Dante's Inferno, EA celebrated the sin of greed by mailing games journalists checks for 200 bones. Most outlets donated their money to charity, but then again, it did work because we're talking about it right now, and you just remember that there's a middling action video game based on a 14th century epic poem that exists for some reason. The involuntary strange crap of the month club was bound to go too far at some point, and EA finally pushed the limit when they sent out actual brass knuckles to promote the release of the Godfather 2 game. Brass knuckles are illegal in several states, including California, where EA's headquarters are. EA was rightly horrified to realize their completely obvious, incredibly stupid mistake and recalled said knucks. It was an embarrassing blunder, but hey, at least it wasn't SimCity.
At least it wasn't SimCity. You see what I mean? Pretty funny. I do a lot of animation too, like 8-bit, 16-bit animation. It's really funny. Those are some pretty disastrous. Sending packages of raw, outdated meat full of bullet casings and dog tags. That doesn't really seem... doesn't really just seem like it hits the mark with trying to advertise a game. I don't know. I kind of want that bust though. You know, that would. No, my wife would never let me have it. Post in the comments below. Tell me what you thought. If you know of any other marketing campaigns that were atrocious, like, comment, subscribe, share. Doodles.